What up, what up, what up, everybody? Welcome back to Ravens Roundup. This is the 3/17/26 edition of Ravens Roundup, and it's titled More Questions Than Answers, because I feel like that's what we have right now, more questions than answers, especially with a couple of signings that went through and made you scratch your head. But we got Jose here, we got Kerry, we got Sutton. What up, fellas? What up, what up, what up?
What's going on? Glad to be back.
What up?
Unite. Did you get your thing? You get your mug yet?
No, I didn't. I don't think I did.
That might be on me then, because I was sending them one at a time to make sure they didn't break, because Chris is broke. So I think you do.
Oh,
I still got to get you then. So you up next.
I don't know what it is about the stuff that you send me. Oh, my camera freeze. I know what's gonna happen. I don't know what it is about the chalice, the mug. I don't know what it is about these things that you send me, but it's always the one dish that nobody can leave alone in the house.
so everybody been on your mug.
The chalice is missing. Nobody wants to claim responsibility for it. It's just gone. The mug came. I said, "You see this right here? Nobody touch it." What they do? They touch it.
It's a quality mug. Can't blame them.
The chalice grew legs, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Just so y'all know, we support each other around here. So you see what I'm rocking today. Salute to Jose and B. Salute to Jose and B. But what I want to start us off with is something I started watching right before we came on and just came out. It's let me share my screen. It's part of all the drama that has taken place over the past 2 weeks, and he's telling his side of it. So I'm gonna let it go for 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and then I want to give like his side, like our reaction to what he said went on. And I watched about a minute, then I stopped and realized that I wanted to show it on here with the fellas. So I'm gonna let this run, and then we'll go from there.
Maybe 40% of the people that really think
I pulled the wrong one. Give me a second. My bad. My bad. I pulled the wrong one.
That was hella entertaining.
You say you tell, but it looks like. Let me take this off. It looks like somebody ain't telling the truth. Now, I don't wholeheartedly believe Maxx, but I don't wholeheartedly believe the Ravens either. What y'all think?
Y'all can go ahead first.
Okay, I'll go first. I think all parties are telling the truth. I think that doctor told him the truth. This is where you're supposed to be at in your rehab.
And
this
that was
is how
his
long
doctor
it's gonna
now.
take for you to get back good. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. His doctor. He told Maxx the right thing. You'll be back out there, and this is how long it'll take you. You'll be back up full speed. That's not the concern the Ravens have. The Ravens have concern about long term, right? Is he going to be back to 100%? Is it something where it's going to get progressively worse? And I think that's why they brought in other specialists to take a look at that, because they're saying, okay, he's going to be back on the field, but for how long? And that's their issue. So they're talking about two different things, in my opinion, right? I don't think there's any issue about his availability for this year and next year. I think it's after that what they're having the issue with. And, that's one of those things I can understand Crosby's frustration, because it's like, man, everybody knew what it was. You know what I'm saying, with me, like that. It's no secret. But you made the move for me, knowing that, and it does feel like you kind of got cold feet, because it's kind of confirmed that, hey, this guy may not be able to play for as long as you at that level anyway. He may not be able to play at that level for as long as you think. And yeah, 2 first-round picks is a lot to give up for that. For
sure is.
Maybe another year or two of high quality play, and then it drops off from there. But I think that's what it is. I think both of them are looking at two different things with his knee. One short term, one long term.
Tactical. We talking about Maxx Crosby. We're not talking about offensive lineman right now.
Not yet.
Kerry?
Yeah, I jump in. Like first and foremost, before we get into this, I just want to like acknowledge how difficult this is on players.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about, this isn't just like, you're coming to play in Baltimore for a couple months. This was full on uprooting of your family, going across the country to play for a different team, and then you find out days later that you're not going to be going to that team. Like, I can't imagine the amount of stress. Not only him, wife, kids, whoever else, like the whirlwind that they've gone through in the last week or so. Like, I think that should be acknowledged more. But I think big picture, I think Jose hit it on the head. I think we're talking about two different things here. It's different when you're trying to calculate, I'm going to give up 2 first-round picks for this guy, as opposed to, I think he's going to be ready for the season. You know how I know the Ravens knew he was hurt? Because everybody else in the damn world knew he was hurt. The rhetoric I've heard about that has just been jarring to me. On top of also, all of a sudden they knew Trey Hendrickson was available. Like, was he not a free agent when free agency started? You think they just found out that he was available?
Right. Everybody knew he was going to be available when he sat down in Cincinnati.
Yeah, exactly. They knew he was going to be available. They knew he was going to, what the price was going to be for him. I think it was a price that they probably didn't necessarily want to pay. And then they really pushed that and just went ahead and did it when they lost out on Crosby. But like, people got to stop kind of insulting people's intelligence. Like, this isn't stuff that's known going into it. My thing is, what we'll never know is, what did they see on that scan?
Right.
Because was it like a Grey's Anatomy thing where they look at a scan and then all of a sudden the doctors start to look at each other and they get quiet and then it goes to commercial? Like, was it like something like really, really bad that like, okay, now we're panicking? That's kind of like what it feels like to me. One thing he did say that I found interesting is he said when he spoke to DaCosta, he said that at first he said they were going to try to work it out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my initial thought after DaCosta spoke to Cordell, when he kind of danced around the answer as far as did they try to renegotiate, DaCosta's answer made it seem like to me they didn't try to renegotiate.
Okay.
But him telling Maxx that they were going to try to work it out tells me maybe they did try to renegotiate, and the Raiders maybe they were just so pissed off with the whole situation that they just weren't going to engage. But it makes me wonder, okay, maybe I don't feel good enough about this to give up 2 first-round picks as far as his future.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what the timeline is. I know he's going to be ready for training camp. I think I can get a year. I think I can get 2 years out of him. Maybe that's enough for me to give up a first-round pick and maybe a conditional 3rd or 4th or whatever the case may be. Stuff we'll never know, but it at least makes me think now based off of what he said.
I feel like that they did try to renegotiate, and the Raiders didn't want to come off of what was there, and the cost of them were like, "Well, fuck you then, take the whole thing off." Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I mean, they already made plans for that money. You know what I'm saying? They already made plans for that money, so they didn't want to give it back.
They had already went on that big spending spree. Showed it.
Yeah, exactly.
We all been there. We all been there.
Right.
Like Kanye say, we all self-conscious. We get money before we spend the money before we get it.
Yep. We all self-conscious. I'm just the first to admit it. Yep. But no, I mean, I think y'all made some great points. I mean, I definitely think they did try to renegotiate. Obviously, it wasn't successful because the Raiders didn't want to come up off of that capital that they got. But the main thing that I hate about this whole situation is just how much. Listen, I was on a high for those 3-4 days that Maxx Crosby was supposed to be a Raven. And it's not just because of what he's able to offer, on 3rd and 7 and longer, right? But it was more so just about the mentality and the attitude that he was going to bring back to this defense and really this team overall, right?
And
he was the
you
perfect
said that
type
from the
of
jump. I remember.
for sure. And he was the perfect type of like rough rider to like really come in and do that. I saw a lot of people saying in the chat like he's so Baltimore, you know what I mean? Like, and I agree. He don't got the accent, nothing like that. And honestly, Baltimore is his own world, if we're being completely honest with ourselves here. But Maxx Crosby, he would have fit the mold of being a Raven. I mean, I'm just even looking at his podcast setup. He's got a podcast called The Rush with a beautiful R in the back and purple backlights and things. It would have just been a perfect fit all around. It's unfortunate that it didn't go through, but at the end of the day, I mean, we've had time to kind of like get over it. Honestly, like a week. Yeah, exactly a week at this point. We've had a whole week to get over it, and it's a net positive that we got Trey Hendrickson, who I'm sure we'll talk about here soon, in this episode as well, and those 2 first-round picks back. So while I still want to be mad, 7 days removed from this whole situation, I do still feel like there was like a little bit of malpractice. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to Eric DeCosta. Because one more thing, here's my thing: if you're EDC. And you make this deal, because we found out about it on a Friday night, right? That Maxx Crosby was coming to Baltimore. So that means that he was on the phone with who was it, Spy Tech, the GM for the Raiders. I want to say it is. He was on the phone with Spy Tech on a Friday night, and he said, two firsts for Maxx Crosby. You sure he's good? Was his knee or whatever? You sure his knee good? Positive, right? Yeah, he's good. All right, cool. We'll do the 2 first-round picks. All right, bet. Awesome, says John Spytek. But it's Friday, you know what I'm saying? I can't get you, the physical. I can't get them in front of you until Monday. So how about we, handshake deal now, and then Monday, that's when we're gonna, let you do the physical. You can come see him. And Eric DeCosta's like, all right, bro. Immediately, obviously, John Spytek calls the agent of Maxx Crosby. Agent calls Maxx Crosby. They probably put the news out themselves, right? Agent probably leaked it to Adam Schefter or Crosby, whoever. And that is really where I think Eric DeCosta went wrong. Because if you truly had your reservations and you didn't have without a shadow of a doubt that you were going to acquire this player, no matter what showed up on the test, like the second, third opinion, if you weren't sure, you should not have had or made the handshake deal. Right, you should not have made John Spytek feel comfortable then communicating with Maxx Crosby's agent that, hey, this is happening. So I feel like everybody's kind of wrong in the situation. I mean, the Raiders, they weren't probably as forthcoming as they should have been. Obviously, Maxx Crosby's doctor was telling him exactly what he wanted to hear. Maxx Crosby, that is, and the Raiders heard exactly what they wanted to hear from the Ravens for those 2 first-round picks that they're ponying up. So, but at the end of the day, though, the only people that I can really kind of give the side eye is the Ravens. Like I said, I feel like there's enough wrong to go around. But, it's like when you was growing up, and you failed a math test, you bring the math test home, right? And you tell your mom, hey, everybody failed the test. She can be like, I don't give a damn about what everybody else did. I give a damn about
get the telltale thing. If everybody jump off the bridge, you gonna jump off the bridge?
Exactly. So I wonder, have the Raiders have they made any statement about this other than an initial "Hey, deals off"? Because there's something that EDC said during his his presser, and he mentioned how they don't have access to the medicals until a certain time, like they could agree to the deal, but obviously when you say it's pending. But the way he worded it, it made me think he did ask him like, hey, is his knee good? Can we take a look at it? And maybe there was some reluctance on their end, like, oh, well, we'll show it to you later, type of thing, right? And it kind of lines up with what Maxx Crosby is saying, how like, hey, I didn't even meet EDC for 5 hours because I there's a hint of there was always some doubt, when he did the deal, and as soon as they could get, they can get him in the building, they wanted to immediately take a look at the knee. He didn't want to meet him until they can confirm that it was all good, because he kind of felt like the Raiders might have been up to something. That's kind of how he threw it out there without putting it all out there. And the fact that the Raiders, not even through the media, have leaked that, hey, they kind of got screwed on this. They're kind of just quiet about it. And also, there's no other talks of anybody else in on Maxx Crosby. Makes me feel like the Raiders were trying to kind of get over on on the Ravens. But I agree though, like you knew where his knee was at. You know the risk, right? Like you knew that going in.
What the Raiders didn't what the Raiders didn't expect was for the Ravens to go get a second opinion from the best knee surgeon in the world.
Yeah.
That's what the Raiders didn't bank on. And so you know they were in the running for Maxx too.
Yep.
And when that doctor got to see them scans, whatever them scans may show, they went to Rashawn Gary.
So I wonder, like, how bad do they think it's going to be down the road? Like, okay, are we going to get 2 more good years out of him and then he falls off the cliff? Or after 2 years,
Jose, he's going to go so hard this year? It might be 1 or maybe 2. Because I know for sure he's going super hard this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I don't know.
There was a soup up from JR. JR said truth and lies on both parts. In my opinion, EDC was losing sleep, giving up the picks. He said, "Wait, I'm gonna have less than 10 picks." Sorry, Max, you gotta go. I definitely can see that. And
he canceled the deal after them comp picks came out. He was like, less than I thought. My bad.
Let me get these back. But and that kind of led us into the first question, and we'll be quick on the answer to the first question. And it's really just want to stay specifically on the Trey Hendrickson aspect of it. Do you think it was the right move to pivot to him as fast as we did, or do you think he was already in the mix?
Well, I think he was already in the mix, especially considering that, the news dropped that EDC was trying to get both of them, So I think that Trey Hendrickson was already kind of being talked about. Now, the fact that it got done literally, 8 hours after we found out Maxx Crosby fell out, that didn't sit right with me. I was like, oh, no, y'all trying to save face, But I let a couple of days go by, let my emotions kind of level out a little bit. And I was like, you know what? Maybe they were trying to just go all out this season, and again, I know it would have been much to my guy Jose's chagrin, the on the defense crowd. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But that would have been crazy having both of those guys screaming off the edge, and then we're not even getting the Kyle Hamilton and the prospect of Matabike coming back. That would have just been insane. Literally, we're going to the Super Bowl this year. That would have been my thinking. But no, I think they were definitely talking about them both at the same time. It's crazy that they were in the building at the same time too, though. And I assume Trey Hendrickson was probably being celebrated a whole lot more in the building than Maxx Crosby was. Maxx Crosby felt like,
know that.
Yeah, that's what Trey Hendrickson said. Hendrickson said he was like that. Maxx Crosby. Yeah, they were both in the castle at the same time. And Crosby was probably just standing in the room like Will Smith in that one scene on Fresh Prince.
Waiting on the scans to come back.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're waiting on Eric DeCosta, Jesse Miller, like, where everybody at? Y'all give up 2 first for me. Meanwhile, Trey Hendrickson in there shaking hands and kissing babies. Yeah. So I don't know, man. But I definitely think they was talking to them both at the same time.
You want to close us out, Kerry?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think they were talking to them both at the same time. I think what you saw with them moving fast on Hendrickson, and probably my guess is up in the money, is when the Crosby thing fell out, they're like, okay, well, we got to strike on him. Like, we got to make sure we lock him in. And the thing with Hendrickson is that Tuesday, it came out that he was going to make a decision on Wednesday. Typically with free agency, if a dude going to make a decision, it just comes out. He just going to make the decision. That tells me I got offers on the table that I'm not necessarily crazy about. A lot of people said the Colts were pissed off because they were in the running for him. The Colts probably had a deal on the table for $24 million a year, $25 million a year. Well, when this thing fell out with Crosby, Raymond's like, okay, well, we gotta put the pedal to the metal. They jump in up at the 27, lock them in, and that's where we ended. But I think that this was something that they were looking at, trying to get them both in the building. With Crosby's deal, they could have got his cap number down to like $7 million for this year.
Hendrickson's, but
I think it's 15.
11 or 15. Yeah, it ain't high.
15. So, they could have locked them in for 21 for this year. It was doable. They probably have to do some stuff with Marlowe's deal or, whatever on the back end. But they definitely could have got it done. And I think that's what they were shooting for. They definitely wanted Crosby first. They identified him as their prime target.
Overall better player. Better player.
Yeah. I mean, he's a historic run defending defensive end who also is a great pass rusher. Hendrickson doesn't bring that as a run defender. So, but Hendrickson is he's a professional pass rusher in every sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I think
mercenary.
that's what yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he is.
I'd say YNG Brew dropped to 20. He says, laughing my butt off. We all been killing EDC for drafting injured players, which we have. Now that he made the right choice, people are questioning him. I ain't questioning. I feel like because I've been preaching lemon rule since it happened. If it ain't where it's supposed to be, and I know Maxx said it was, and his doctor said it was, but they let a independent party look at it, and gave an answer that wasn't favorable for Maxx. So just like arbitration, you both people going there with their sides, and hey, I'm gonna tell the truth, and then whatever may happen happens. And the thing is, he probably will be ready for the start of the season. But like Jose said, long term, 2 picks is a lot. That can set your franchise back 3-4 years. Well, 1 can set it back 3-4 years, but 2, who knows? Who knows? Because premium players going to first, and you go 2 years without getting a premium player. That's wild, and you get nothing back from it, which is crazy.
And they haven't really proved to be able to like hit on a lot of these 3rd round picks and later anyway. So, point taken.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's see. All right. Next up, we're gonna switch topics. Go to topic number 2. Question: is losing Linderbaum the biggest blow to the Ravens off season? Well, hold on. One thing before we go. I think losing Linderbaum at the time frame we did gave us the opportunity to get both, because that money that they probably was gonna get a Linderbaum, they could have chose to give it to one or the other. So I think losing him was the reason they went. I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe we might get both of them then, since they had already lost Linderbaum. But is he the biggest blow to the offseason so far? Let's start with you, Kerry.
Yeah, it is. And with all due respect to him as a player, I do think he's a really good player. But to me, it's more about the position. So you go from having 2 interior line positions to fill to 3. And, center is not this, so difficult position that, you got to invest this great amount of capital or this great amount of cap space to fill it. You can fill it at, a modicum of the cost that he went for. But it adds another hole that you got to try to figure out a way to fill on a team that has, holes. You got spaces and spots that you need to fill up. So, in that sense, it was the biggest loss. I think when you look at the track record of the guy that's responsible for filling these spots, as far as what he's done with the interior offensive line, specifically in the last 3-4 years, I got some apprehension. It hasn't been pretty. So, that was my main thing going in with Linderbaum. I was like, man, look, just pay it. If it's extra, just go ahead and pay it. But this was before the Raiders came in with the 3-year, and at the number that they came in, it wasn't going to be feasible. You can't spread out, but so much money in a 3-year deal. That cap number is going to be insane, and you just couldn't stomach that and get other stuff done. So they had to get that done, but it also makes me wonder, okay, well, if you would have got this done before that 5th year came into play, before the franchise tag came into play, are we in the same position now? So, who knows? I'm not in those negotiations. I don't know how it went with the agent or whatever. But if you would have been a little bit more, a little bit more pedal on the metal, maybe you get him done for 20-21 a year for 4 years.
Honestly,
a while ago.
You get him when he made 2 Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
You get him after that 3rd year, he probably sitting at 16, 17. He probably right up under old boy in Kansas City.
Because what Creed got what 16? 18. So even if you say, hey, even if you push it and say, hey, you ain't Creed yet, but hey, we'll give you 19.
Right.
Then we're not having this conversation today.
But we be so far in wait and see mode on folks instead of taking a chance, because sometimes you're gonna miss. But go ahead, sir.
No, I mean, I was just trying to go through my freaking mental Rolodex of all the players the Ravens have lost in the past couple of weeks, and it's been a lot, but I do have to agree. I mean, Tyler Linderbaum, he's probably the most crucial piece that the Ravens have, kind of departed from so far. I mean, there's some guys who I think come close. I think Pat Ricard is an underrated one.
Agreed.
I think Isaiah Likely is a very underrated one as well. Well, he's probably pretty properly rated, but definitely Ricard. But anyway, Tyler Linderbaum, I've been saying this for years, just the continuity with Lamar Jackson. I mean, we do not want to go back to having snap issues, right? I mean, we talk about how bad the offense is with, the offensive line, guys whiffing on blocks, especially the guards at times and things like that. Not being able to establish the run, not being able to pass protect for Lamar. If you can't snap the ball consistently, you don't even get to those problems, right? So I think we definitely have some big shoes to fill there. I mean, in this Tyler Linderbaum, I had my quarrels with him, especially in pass protection, one-on-one against like nose tackles and things like that. He is a little bit undersized, so he did tend to get like kind of slapped out of the way. I saw that multiple times on film this past season. But for the most part, when it comes to, I think I was watching one of your videos, Coach, when it comes to zone runs and things like that, he does really well moving his feet and staying in front of his man. So that's going to be, again, big shoes to fill, especially with what the Ravens are going to want to do behind Dwayne Ledford's offensive line and this rushing attack this year. So I think it's definitely the biggest loss because it affects the run game. It affects Lamar Jackson. And of course, it affects the entire offense, right? So big shoes to fill there.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with everything Kerry and Sutton said. Tyler Linderbaum, easily the biggest loss that we have. And it goes back to Njoku is in Baltimore visit. Okay.
I've been screaming that name for 3 weeks anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I can get with that.
The price wasn't right yet, though. That's EDC's problem. But this issue, like this predates EDC. This is a formula that Ozzie had here in Baltimore, where it was, hey, we have a number in mind that we want to pay a player. Anything about that number is not worth it. We can pivot. Ozzie was pretty good at that. But even Ozzie a lot of times would underestimate how much players are going to go for, right? And when he missed and he whiffed, right, he couldn't replace a position through draft or whatever. He always made it right by a trade or spending a little extra money on free agency. That's something that EDC has not done well at all.
Once.
And with
Juice Man.
Yes.
Only one the Juice Man. Only one.
Yeah, correct. Like Kerry said, we already had 2 guard spots that we need to fill. I think we still had 2 guard spots we need to fill. But, if you don't get Linderbaum, that was always my question. Who do you get? Who's next up? And they brought in 2 guards, and we're still asking, so who's going to be the center? Or not guards, I mean center.
2 centers.
Centers. Who's gonna be the center? It's just not looking good. And yes, you could say, hey, you can't pay that much for a center. You should be able to fill that spot for cheaper. But if you ain't got one, it's a big deal.
Big problem. and Karen and I were like throwing scenarios out before I sent the link, because I had sent the link to the wrong group. And we were talking about with them bringing 2 centers in. My initial thought was, man, this must be bad for Corey Bullock. But then Kerry put me on track to, well, it's probably bad for Voorhees, because I mean, Bullock probably going to his natural position at guard. Because the 2 guys we brought in, I don't know anything about any of them. Kerry knew a little bit about them and was, enlightening me, saying that, maybe he could be a 6th or 7th offensive lineman, and you could play him in a pinch, which I think ain't that his name?
What was his name? I forgot his name that quick.
From the Colts?
Pinter.
Pinter. Yeah, you can play him in a pinch, but you can't depend on him long term. Yeah. So them 2 guys they brought in they probably can't buy it as a competition, which lets me believe we still either gonna go get
If
a
you're
third
bringing
guy.
them in to be like rotational guys or developmental guys, I got no problem with that. But
I think he old.
Is
he 30 something? I think he might be 30, 29 or 30.
Oh,
I think he's been in the league
like 5
seasons. 5 years, 5
so
or
he
6
is.
years.
So he is who he is.
Right. The image you see is the image you're gonna get.
What you see is what you get.
I appreciate this one. Wondering Ravens says tenfold hat on. The Tyler aspect played a part. It's giving Deshaun and Brown's fallout vibes. The combine. EDC said we made him a record-setting offer. Maybe that was to the people driving up the price unknowingly. It was Las Vegas. I can see that. That's a part of business. Because once he hit a certain number, well, he could have said record-setting and it'd been 19. It could have been 19.5. It could be 18.1. Would have been record-setting.
Yeah.
Because that was higher than the highest paid guy. So it was about a bunch of verbal garbage at that time with people trying to get what they want and put out in the media what makes them look better.
Yeah. He just got EDC. He just got in that situation. At the end of the day, it just too vulnerable. You caught a team with the Raiders that, they still got like $100 million in space for 2027. Like, you just caught a team that had unlimited amount of money and didn't have enough to spend it on, and like you just got because you didn't handle business on the front end. So you got on the back end.
You know what's crazy? EDC, he called up Sin City, of all places, and made a handshake deal before the weekend started. Like, what are we talking about here?
Hey, another thing about that, Sutton, NFL's $1 billion business, correct?
Yeah.
Why in the HE hockey sticks, after they had that handshake, Maxx couldn't go on a plane and went out there and had an MRI on Saturday?
I'm saying,
but that's what I was saying before.
They had
EDC
MRI machines at the stadium. I know they got one probably at the castle because that's where he practiced at.
But that's
ain't have to wait till Monday or Tuesday.
That's what he hinted towards in his press conference about how he didn't have access to Maxx right away, right? Mm-hmm. And I think
they have the rights to the player.
Yes, and I think that's where this whole thing, that whole hesitation started from, because he probably asked like, "Yo, let's get it done now so we can confirm it." And they were like, "Nah, let's wait." Right. To try to get them in the building and then just say, "Hey, look, you break it, you buy it," type of thing. Right. I feel like that's what's going on. And because the Ravens backed out of it and they knew what they did, they're just keeping quiet about it, because the Raiders aren't a quiet organization. They're not the type to be like, "Oh, we feel like we got screwed over, but we're just going to take the high road." That ain't the Raiders.
And he couldn't go on his own. Just for people to know that the Raiders had to get him permission to do it. And so if the Raiders say you can't go till Tuesday at 1:15, you can't show up before 1:15 because they still own your rights. I hate to say it like that because it sounds like something else, but they still own your shouldn't say it again, rights. Professional rights. But another 10 from Brewery says the loss of Linderbaum I heard a bit, but Coach, I've been watching last year's film and I noticed that teams put a nose. I think Sutton or somebody just said that today. Somebody. It knows like DJ Reader gave Tyler Linderbaum.
Oh yeah.
You get a 0 nose in front of him, and he ain't the greatest. Now going side to side with 1s and 3s, perfection. But you put a 0 nose and it just say whoop him, he got issues.
What's going to change right now?
Nothing.
You put a nose on Pinter, what? He'll just run him over faster.
Let's see, this another one. This another from JR. He said the problem with EDC is why let your best players hit free agency every time, then never have a backup. Hey, JR, I'm gonna direct you to the Brent Coleman film that has a lot of people in uproar. I personally didn't see no lies told.
Facts.
I personally didn't. Have you seen it, Sutton?
I have not yet. I have not.
I've seen the link. You watch it when y'all finish tonight. Brent Coleman, the guy that I try to emulate with my film stuff, he did a video and it's EDC and the picture says why, like the words say why. So basically he broke down the philosophy of like us drafting players, not really developing to the last minute and then letting them walk for comp picks to get more players. He threw up a list of comp picks. Wasn't very pleasant to see, but just I'm gonna let you see it and then we'll have a conversation about it afterwards. But a lot of Ravens, and you might even use this as some stuff for the show. But a lot of Ravens fans are pissed about that video. I'm personally, I am not.
It was spot on.
Because wait a minute, Brett Coleman, he's not a Ravens fan, right?
No, he's a Houston Texans fan, but he works for the NFL and the Chargers.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like based off of just what you told me there, it sounds like he's going to be saying a lot of the same stuff that us four and like everybody in the Ravens content creator community been saying, you know, right? Because we've been had our ears to the street. yeah, for sure.
And so I think we caught up there. Let's go to question number 3. And I'm waving my hand up here, so when I get ready to chop this up, I know where to chop it up at. Just so you content creators out there, let's see little tricks I be throwing up there. So we're gonna talk about the whole batch of free agency. How concerned are you with all the free agent losses? So
yeah, I mean, I think I touched on it a little bit earlier. Like Pat Ricard, that is going to be a huge blow for me. Like man, I've said this time and time again on PRP. Patrick Ricard, he had entire drives, touchdown drives manufactured around him, you know, blocking and things like that and getting the Ravens down the field. And losing him to me, and I get it, Declan Doyle, he's more of a, you know, a tight end guy in that position that Ricard was in. He's probably going to use, who was it, Durham Smythe that we got last week. Yeah. Probably throw him into that role. We'll see what that does for Derrick Henry and opening up holes and things like that. But I mean, I just got to right now, I got to trust Dwayne Ledford when it comes to that. So that one really hurt me. Is Isaiah Likely, of course. Listen, man. And the Isaiah Likely one hurts me a little bit more because he is one of the only pass catchers that the Ravens have that when you really, really need one, I'm talking 3rd and 14, you're dead to rights, 4th and 8 with the season on the line. You need somebody to go get it. I mean, trust me, I get it. Zay Flowers, those touchdowns against the Steelers, awesome. But when I'm talking about like a hard contested catch, everything is locked up. Isaiah Likely was that guy. And I don't know if you guys heard about what DeAndre Hopkins came out and said yesterday. He was another one of those guys. You know what I mean? Like after that Buffalo touchdown in week 1, I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. D-Hop as our 3rd option. It's going to be great. You know, as the season went on, you didn't really see him get targeted. But when he did, it was on those 3rd and 10s, you know, run up 5 yards, run it out or maybe not 3rd and 10, but you know, you guys know what I'm saying. Like on 3rd and long, we could target him back, shoulder, all sorts of stuff. And the same thing for Isaiah Likely. I mean, not in the exact same manner. He was more so like a backyard football guy, but he just felt like he fit in a Lamar Jackson-led offense. So he really hurt. Keaton Mitchell was one that's just like, come on, bro, this is just unnecessary. You telling me that you cannot get what $3-4 million together to throw at Keaton Mitchell? You know what I mean? For what he's able to do, a change of pace back behind Derrick Henry. You know, who can come in on, you know, some 2nd and shorts or some things like that, you know what I mean? And pop off big runs to the outside. Hey, look, man, I hope love him to death. I really do. But I hope he can be that, he can still provide that spark like he was back in like 2024 and previous. Outside of that, Kohler, I was never really a huge fan of Charlie Kohler. I know everybody in here and in the chat was a huge fan of Charlie. I loved his personality on the field, his blocking, awesome. But I need playmakers. At the end of the day. And so I didn't really mind letting Charlie Kohler go. Outside of that, though, is there anybody else I'm missing, y'all? I think that's about it. Now we're talking about. Yeah, I mean, Draymond Jones, you know what I mean? Had him for 6 minutes. But, you know, it's just, I don't know. But yeah, overall, I'm upset because we lost some players that seem like staples. You know, one more thing. I was telling Alex this. We shouldn't be surprised because this is a brand new coaching regime who has 0 emotional ties to any of the guys I just named, right? They didn't draft none of them. So they probably came in.
Yeah, because like you said, he hadn't even seen the dude.
Exactly. Like, basically, like, these ain't my kids. It's gonna be like, let them go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is crazy.
So less so if you take my personal thoughts you know, out of it. Like, I don't know if y'all saw this, but like the morning of free agency, I did a series of tweets, tweeted out all the players that I would re-sign, like moves I would make or whatever. Literally in the first day, they let everybody go that I said I would re-sign. Every single person. Every single one of them.
Damn.
So
they looked at your tweet and like, thanks, Carrie.
Right.
You know where to start.
Right.
Exactly. So I'm like,
whatever he say we need, we don't need.
Right. So like, Eric, if it's beef, just say that, man. Like, you know, if it's beef, just say that. But nah, I'm gonna shoot him some bail on this one. there were some ones that I definitely didn't agree with, but like if you look at everything in totality, they either was able to find a replacement, a reasonable facsimile of a replacement at a cheaper cost, or they have the draft capital to replace it. So Hendrickson, upgrade over Draymond Jones. To me, they undersold what Charlie Kohler could be as a pass catcher, because if you go back and look at what he was coming out of Iowa State, you look at how he was rated by, NFL scouts. Go back and look at a friend of the show with DCP, Matt Wallman. I think he was Matt Wallman's like tight end 4 or 5 in that draft. And he loved him. He talked about his pass catching ability. This wasn't about blocking. He came in and got behind Likely and Andrews and had to become a blocker, but that wasn't like his, claim to fame coming in. So I think they undersold there. But if you're telling me, if you're going to only view him as a blocker and you're paying him 8 and then you're going to give Smythe 3, I get it. You got Jalen Hawkins at 60% of the cost of Gilman, and Jalen Hawkins is a better, more impactful player than Gilman. The one that hurts is Keaton Mitchell. They undersold him to me, but at the same time, I can get, to me, it should have never went to this. They should have just signed him to a 3-year deal before we even got to free agency, spread out that number, have a cap number that you can live with. But they didn't. Chargers got him 2 for $10. You can get
the thing about that. That's a great deal. But Keaton going over there to be the same thing. He was running back 3 here. He going to the Chargers to be running back 3.
Yeah. He didn't be 3 behind Vidal.
They got Hampton.
Because it's Hampton, it's
Vidal,
Kamari Vidal, and then
Najee the big dude.
Well, Vidal is their pass pro guy. So
they still got Najee Harris.
I don't think so.
Harris.
That was a 1-year deal.
Agent. Yeah, 1-year deal.
Okay.
Yeah, but Vidal is a pass pro guy, so he's going to be in the mix. Just based off of that.
That again puts Keaton back in the same spot he was in.
Yeah,
as a pass pro.
Yeah. But I mean, so I get that in that sense. You can find a reasonable facsimile to that in the draft, mid-round, or even if you wait later in free agency, you can probably get a vet for $1.5-2 million that can come in and give you good work. So I say that to say, concerning a little bit, they can still salvage all of this. But it's going to come down to, hey, man, this is on you now. Like, I'm going to always come back to this with EDC. And I think he gets a bit of a bad rap. Like, people kind of treat him like he's incompetent. He's not. He does a lot of things well. But at the same time, your boss got on and told us that I fired this coach and the blood is on your hands too.
Yeah.
You got to show and prove.
Which I think was part of the reason why he had the gonads to even attempt to make that Maxx Crosby trade.
Right. Exactly. And that's what bugs me out when people talk about the Crosby trade in that sense. Is like, man, y'all don't understand. Like, this boss called him out.
Yeah, he moving different. He got to.
Like, he doesn't have the luxury to sit like the person that didn't want this trade to fall through even more than Maxx Crosby was Eric DeCosta.
Right.
That makes me think, guys. That makes me think, like, do y'all think that for that reason, if he is truly like feeling like he has to do things different, do y'all think he makes a big move draft day, like package some picks, move back, maybe try to trade up, trade for a player? Like, I think that's still on the table too, no?
The big move for me on draft day for him would be to find a way to end your draft in the 4th round. So that means get, the 5th, 6th, and 7th, make deals to go up like to the 3rd. Make deals to get back into the 4th. Try to end your draft in the 4th round and get as many top 150 players as possible.
Yeah.
At least top 150 you think.
Yeah. That and
especially with
vets.
the holes you'd have made. I mean, with the holes you'd have filled with these vets, you don't need 11 fresh places. Get you 6 or 7 good guys.
And you damn sure don't need 4 5th-round picks.
Right.
Yeah.
That aren't gonna make the team.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But it's crazy we say that. Likely, Kolar, Stout. All got paid.
Yep.
5th round picks.
4th round.
All of them was 4th round. I thought I was 5th. Okay. But they was almost right back behind each other. It was Kolar.
Oh, yeah. By far EDC's best work.
Likely. But
yeah,
nothing since then. All right, let's go to this one. And we'll probably shut it down after this one. Are the Ravens still Super Bowl contenders in the AFC? Jose?
As of today, no. The O-line somehow today is worse than it was last season.
Yeah.
And if they don't find a way to get better, I don't care who you have on defense. You can have Maxx Crosby and Trey Hendrickson and Chris Jones. You can have you can have Fred Warner
not
back
Chris
there.
Jones.
You not winning anything if you can't protect Lamar Jackson. All right, like the fact that they're not putting in, there's no sense of urgency to fix the O-line, because that's the other thing that Steve Bisciotti called out in the press conference, that the O-line didn't develop the way it needed to.
Yep.
Right? He made that crystal clear that was a problem. And you're like, all right, we can't pay Tyler Linderbaum. Let's bring back Corey Bullock. Not enough? Let's get, what's the guy's name? Pinter. Let's bring back John Simpson. The first move you make.
Oh, Lord.
The first move you make. when everybody's still on the board, when everybody's still available, let's bring back John Simpson.
I apologize.
None of us can. Like this line right now is so bad. Like, I see people trying to write formulas to figure out how it could work. Like, yes, if you put them over here and then you carry the one and then you do this, then it could work. It could work, right? Like we're trying to convince ourselves that this O-line can work. It's still time. There's still time to fix everything. That's why I'm not really jumping out there yet. But 7 years of seeing this with EDC, it's the same thing over and over and over. You're rushing to make sure you fill in all the holes with premium players on defense. And on offense, we'll see what's left and we'll work it out somehow. And you just hope and pray that it all comes together. That's not a good strategy. Could it work? It could work. And when it works, it's great, but it's not a good strategy. And that's not a good way to save your job.
Let's go. That's a good question. That's a really good question. Appreciate it, Brew. He says, does anyone know how many players that EDC drafted are still contributing since he drafted Lamar? Well, he didn't draft Lamar. Oz drafted Lamar.
No, facts.
So if they're still playing and contributing, that's an indictment on Harbaugh. Remember, Harbaugh was given the EDC. That is true too. He didn't get a chance to pick his guy, but they eventually became closer than peanut butter and jelly.
But
it ain't a lot. I'm gonna get to that.
I think EDC at the time had more pull. He had more say to get Harbaugh out of there. EDC was a hot commodity. He turned down multiple job offers. Multiple teams wanted to get EDC at the time, and he turned them all down to stay with Baltimore. He could have easily leveraged that and said, hey, I want to stay here, but when I take over, John got to go. And that was the thought around here. People thought EDC was going to move on from John Harbaugh. And in fact, even the players in Lamar's rookie season thought EDC was going to fire Harbaugh mid-season. Harbaugh thought he was going to get fired mid-season. He should have kept on with that, got rid of him, fresh start. But then they got close. I think Harbaugh was way too much of an influence on EDC, and he was doing things to make his best friend happy, his neighbor happy. But that's on him. You're a grown-ass man. You're a GM. You have to say, no, we can't make that move, right? No, we're not going to draft this fullback from Michigan, right? No, we're not. We're not going to draft another safety. We're not going to do all this stuff. We're going to get guys that actually fit your system, and you have to develop them. You have to hold that man accountable. but I think he fell back and let Harbaugh run the show for way too long, and that's on EDC. That's his fault.
All right, my bad. I changed the answer when the super chat came. I changed the question when the super chat came. Let's go back to the original question. Are the Ravens still a Super Bowl contender in the AFC? Son, did you go first?
No, I didn't go.
Pushing that clock. Go ahead.
I totally understand what Jose is saying. Like as it stands, like right now, like today, with that offensive line. No, I mean the Ravens aren't competing. But I will say this though, and just to take the other stance, because there's two ways you can look at this. The other way you can look at it is, every team right now has holes, right? And like you also mentioned, Jose, it's very, very early. We've got a ton of ammunition, whether that be in the draft. I know we still got, I want to say, don't quote me on this, I think about 26 million in cap space, something like that. And this post the Pinter signing, something like that, right? So I still feel like we're in a good position right now. I mean, if our biggest worries are getting, one more solid center, whether that be in the draft or trade or whoever's left in free agency, who knows, or getting another guard, again, draft, free agency, whatever. That's not a terrible place to be. And I think as it stands right now, again, like I said, with every team in the NFL having some holes that they plan on filling throughout the rest of this offseason, I think you kind of have to dumb it down to just, who's got the best nucleus, like in Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, with a brand new coaching staff and that defense, Kyle Hamilton and, a Trey Hendrickson now, I think you would have to put them up there. I mean, you kind of have to put them up. I think that's why Vegas, they do their, they keep their betting lines. I think if you kind of look at that, I don't know what it is right now, who's favored to win the Super Bowl, but I would assume the Ravens are still top 5. And I think that's not a bad assessment because of the nucleus that they have right now.
I saw somebody the other day, they were 5 or 6. I can't remember who the number one person was, but the Ravens were 5 or 6. I think it was like plus 1,100 or something like that. But that'll change based off who is signed and unsigned.
It's probably like Rams, Seahawks, it's probably Bills, those 3. Outside of that, I mean, I
want to say the Seahawks was the one on top. Again.
Probably, yeah. But I could see us being
Bills was up there.
Bills 4, probably, yeah. Somebody said we're 3rd in the chat, plus 800. Malik.
Okay.
Now I would agree with that assessment though. Yes.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. And 86 Ghost says he think our usable cap is 9 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we win the
Something's like, I need to rethink things here. He's like, 9 million. We can't get as much with that. Right.
He's looking at 9 million.
We can get a guard or center.
Back to the dollar store we go. We're going thrifting for a center. We're going thrifting for a guy that's going to touch the ball every play.
Oh my gosh.
Every play. Carrie's on you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to say yes, and I'll say this as an asterisk, provided that they do what they need to do with the draft and the rest of free agency. You go out and find a center, find a couple linemen in the draft, get some more pass catchers in here, and add another edge that you can count on to set the edge and play run defense. You do those things, yes, they are a Super Bowl contender. And I say that because, and I said this a multitude of times on this past season on this very show, how many times did it never feel like this team, these players were getting elevated by coaching, by scheme last year?
It was, in fact,
that's going to change.
Opposite.
That's going to change big time this year. I don't think people understand how big of a difference that's going to be in multiple rooms. You going from a War Hop to a Letford. You going from a mentor calling plays. Going to a mentor calling plays on defense. Just those two alone, we don't have to count any other coaches. If you just tell me those two things. Like it's so funny how tricky these things can be. If the O-line was coached better and Emory Jones was entered in quicker at guard and they were willing to play somebody else at left guard, a vet or something like that, Harbaugh would still have his job.
Yeah.
So that tells you how close they are. We complain a bunch about the line. We complain a bunch about Derrick Henry's amount of runs, run diet, all those things. He still almost led the league in rushing.
You're right. At 32.
Right. So that lets you know, like, we're not asking for miracles here, but EDC, you did the right things as far as the coaching staff. You got to close this thing out. You got to make the right acquisitions as far as the offensive line.
This is his game time. Whereas he can kind of watch the games in the fall and maybe try to fill holes. Right now, you are the quarterback, the center, the wide receiver, the defensive tackle. Yeah. You Bugs Bunny on first, Bugs Bunny on second. That's you. You and your your little team right there.
Speaking of Bugs Bunny, to your point, Kerry, I mean, you mentioned when was the only times when we had, the coaching staff elevate what we saw on the field, right? About the only time is when you had Looney Tunes Todd, right, calling up these trick plays with Mark Andrews under center. It literally gotta call that to beat the Vikings. Right, I think it was. We're just like some trash teams. You know what I mean? So that was the last time that we really had. Yeah, you said it was the Browns.
I think it was the Browns.
Okay, Browns. I mean, well, shit, even worse. But yeah, man. So I'm hoping that we can turn that around this year with this new coaching staff. Man. I mean, I know we're not really talking about that anymore. Of course, a lot has happened since we've got Minter and Weaver and Doyle and stuff like that. But that's one thing that I think we can really kind of hang our hats on. And of course, we still got to wait to see what it all looks like. But I think it's a net positive that you are bringing in new, fresh ideas and minds to the table here to coach this team. So can't wait, man. I mean, it's still early in the offseason. I'm sure we'll do a lot more of these episodes. I think we're still doing once a month, Coach, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
two that in May. We'll do our regular one one after the draft.
Okay. Yeah. Man, I mean, I can't wait. I know there's still a lot of good stuff ahead here for this Ravens team, so I'm excited.
I'm gonna drop this last one right here. He says, appreciate the 5. That Brent Coleman video called out the Ravens big time. Also, what's the trade package for a Drake London or maybe even Terry McLaurin thoughts? For me, Terry McLaurin, I don't know.
They're not giving him up.
Yeah, Drake. Drake. They've been have a big 3 in Atlanta. I think. And Bijan, Drake, and whichever quarterback gets they stuff in there. I wanted to be Mike, but my dog can't stay healthy.
Would y'all do 2 first for Drake London?
I would.
I'll do it.
Yeah, because he ain't but like 25.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I do it for AJ. I do it for AJ.
Do it for AJ? Okay.
I do it for Jetters. He got to be top 10 receiver though. He got to be a top 10
Who got traded today? Jalen Waddle. What did he go for?
Waddle. He went to Denver, I think.
I don't know what he went for. What did Jalen?
That's why I keep saying you gotta ask. You never know who's available. You never.
But Miami reset 4th, I think. Miami. I
think he went for a 1st and a 4th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They trying to reset, but like you never know like what a team is thinking. About their players. Like I mentioned Amon-Ra St. Brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not put out there, but Jameson Williams got to get paid. They got Isaac Tesla. They got Sam Laporta. They got people that they got to start paying, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you come up to them like, yo, we give you a 1st and a 3rd, they might be like, all right, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta ask. You gotta put it out there. Not every team is going to advertise, hey, we want to get rid of this player. They're cool to have him there, but they got to think about who's going to get these contracts and what can we get if we don't trade them off,
And closed mouths don't get fed.
Exactly. Waddle went for a 1st, a 3rd, and a 4th.
Okay.
1st, a 3rd, and a 4th.
We can do. We said a 1st, a 3rd, and a 4th. Is that what you said?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's what
Denver
gave up. That's what Denver gave up for Jalen Waddle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Real quick. Let me just make sure I'm getting this right. A 1st round pick, a 3rd round pick, and a 4th round pick.
If I read that right, let me go back to my history. I had closed it out real quick.
That's what somebody put in the chat.
Same thing I said.
That's crazy.
That's the Broncos will receive Waddles and Miami's.
That's nothing.
2026 1st round pick Wait.
2026 first round pick.
The Broncos will receive Waddle and Miami's 4th round pick. Oh, sorry, I messed it up. 4th round pick.
Oh, okay.
So they got two. They got 2 things. That's why they got 3 back. They got Waddle and a pick. Then they got then Denver got 3 picks. I didn't know that they sent a pick as well with Waddle. I didn't know.
So
that.
So they moving up in the 4th round.
Mm-hmm.
I can get that up if I'm the Ravens. We got 8 4th and 5th and 7th round picks anyway. Like,
but it did sound like a lot without the extra pick in that sudden. It did.
I
just went right over there.
We gave up those picks for Jalen Waddle. We still have 7 picks in the draft.
Yep.
I'm good. I'm good on Jalen Waddle, man. I think like for us, we got Zay. I'm good with Zay. Speedy receiver. I need the bigger body. I was on board with Drake.
There's
London,
nobody else that you can compare on that team to Jalen Waddle.
On the Broncos?
Our team.
Oh.
Is Waddle and Zay not a little redundant though?
No. Good. Well, I mean, yes, good and good. Yes, I'll take more.
Waddle
good quality
archetype of receiver.
Quick and long speed.
I don't care about the size. Size is not a skill. I want good players on the team. I want guys that can catch the ball, that can run clean routes, that can make plays for the quarterback. Give me more of that. I don't care if they're 5'9". All right, like go out there. If we had two Steve Smith on the team, we wouldn't complain. Steve Smith played like he was 6'5".
Man. See, my thing is, I just want somebody who in January can get off the line and press man, right, and get open for Lamar Jackson on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7.
Waddle can do that.
That would be. I don't think Zay really can.
Waddle can do it.
Waddle.
And
then what's his health? What's his health situation? Has he been healthy these past couple years? I know he started off. Okay,
he's been fairly healthy because he didn't have to kind of carry the load because Tyreek the one ain't been playing.
Yeah, I still think that's a lot for Jalen Waddle. I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
You got Waddle and a 4th round pick. You gave up a 1st, a 3rd, and a 4th. Waddle by himself for them 3 picks would have been crazy, but adding that extra one in there and basically probably just swapping positions in that round. Denver probably going up, and Dolphins probably going back. Yeah.
We can solve a lot of this by bookmarking one of these picks for AJ Brown. I know they don't want to make the move until June. Hey, we'll make the selection for you.
Right. So who you want?
Right.
We'll make the selection.
I'm gonna go to the store real quick.
Which one of these?
What you say you want?
These
and we'll put them in bubble wrap for you until June, and then ship them to you.
Do not break until June 1. We're gonna send you a post-dated check. But hey, that we about to get up out of here. Suddenly got to go get ready for his show, and that we've given you a little bit over an hour and 10 minutes to be exact. So everybody's link is in the description. Purple Rain podcast with Sudden and Alex will be coming up probably in about 10 or so minutes. So that's correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, lunch break hot take with Jose and Brodney. Is Brodney back?
He's back. He got back last night. So
okay, so they'll be on tomorrow, but don't forget about the Jose and Hendo show in the morning for you morning commuters. I'm off work, so
the morning show's been good, man.
Yeah, they've been
holding it down.
Thank you.
And then also Deep Cover Podcast.
This is your Deep Cover Podcast.
Is this your Deep Cover Podcast? No, they got one yesterday. They got one Sunday. So you was the only missing piece, but you go back and watch Sunday show, and then you watch this one. You got your Deep Cover Podcast for the week. So that's what we at. That's what we at. So I appreciate y'all for coming out. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. Make sure you go subscribe to these other folks. Like the video. It's a good number of y'all in here. It's 245 in here. We got 100 likes. Please like the video on your way out. And if you're not subscribed, please do so to everybody up here. I appreciate you, gentlemen, and we'll see you soon, Sutton. Peace and love, y'all.
Yes, sir. Peace.